Hey everyone, welcome back to Flight Realities. I am Joseph Kabulu, your host and guide through the highs and lows of aviation. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on notifications because today we're diving into one of the most intriguing fields in aviation, and it's one that could change how you view airline reviews. So we're talking about the recent shutdown of Vistara Airlines and the ongoing clash between two giants in the aviation content world. I'm talking about Josh Cahill and Sam Chui. This isn't just a disagreement, but it's a clash over trust, transparency, and responsibility that influencers carry in the world of aviation. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Thank you. Imagine for a moment a time not too long ago when Vistara Airlines stood tall as India's premier luxury airline, promising a flying experience like no other. Vistara's launch in 2015 was celebrated, a joint venture between Tata Sons and Singapore Airlines, two names synonymous with excellence. The airline's blend of style, luxury and comfort made it the talk of the sky. It wasn't too long before travelers hailed Vistara as the choice for seamless premium travel across India and beyond. With destinations that stretched internationally, the airline seemed unstoppable. But as we all know, things are rarely what they seem on the surface. So fast forward to November 2024, and Vistara's independent identity came to an end as it merged with Air India under the Tata Group's ambitious vision of consolidating aviation power in India. So to the public, this merger was framed as a strategic consolidation, a business decision meant to create a more powerful airline. But yet, behind the scenes, Vistara's path wasn't entirely clear of turbulence. Now, over recent years, whispers grew louder about internal issues that threatened to tarnish Vistara's polished image. These rumors included allegations of favoritism and even bribery, with reports that some crew members paid portions of their layover allowances to secure desirable international routes. Such allegations paint a very different picture from the premium airline image Vistara had cultivated. And in this industry, where safety and transparency are paramount, these rumors were more than just minor concerns. They cast a shadow over the airline's ethics and operations. This is where Josh Cahill enters our story. For those who don't know Josh Cahill, he is a well-known aviation YouTuber with a reputation for unfiltered honesty. He is the kind of creator who isn't afraid to call out airlines for what he believes to be serious issues. I'm one of his greatest fans. So Cahill became increasingly vocal about Vistara's alleged favoritism and bribery, believing that these issues reflected deeper problems that could ultimately affect both employees and passengers. Now, in his eyes, it was essential to reveal these alleged flaws to maintain the integrity of the aviation industry.
Hello and welcome to another aviation adventure. Today we are flying India's worst airline, primarily known for sexually exploiting their cabin crew, mistreating their staff, and being extremely corrupted, to a point that the shareholders, Tata and Singapore Airlines, working on a plan to merge the Vistara brand with Air India due to its terrible reputation. What once started as an ambitious project to bring premium travel back to India has ended in a complete disaster. In 8 years, it didn't create a single rupee in profit and all the wrong headlines. So today, I'm going to showcase you their Airbus A321 and how the airline unsuccessfully tried to delete my recent video, The Downfall of Vistara Lounge at Delhi, but they offer you access to the Plaza Premium Lounge, which is always packed and busy. Of course, I didn't find a seat at the lounge and made my way to Starbucks for a well-needed coffee. So guys, and here we are enjoying my Starbucks. The lounge was pretty packed, so there was literally no seating available, but that's not a Vistara problem. This is an India problem. So especially in the domestic area, everybody seems to have lounge access because of their credit card statuses, whatever it is. So they tend to be really packed, especially during the busy time. But yeah, it is also my first flight on Vistara ever since I published the video exposing all the nonsense and questionable things that are going on behind the scenes. And I receive a lot of questions and emails and asking me, Josh, what has happened ever since? So give me a minute or two to fill you in. So guys, I know that I owe you a little update on what has happened since I published the Downfall of Vistara video, which was watched over 250,000 times. And apparently the video had a tremendous impact on how things are dealt with within the airlines, leading to a couple of improvements from what I've heard. And that is my sole mission with the video. I'm very happy to hear that, but it also revealed a lot more shocking facts. But of course, Vistara didn't like the fact that I went forward to create a video showcasing you what it's really like behind the scenes of the airline, beyond the glossy and shiny and misleading advertisements that they put out there to make you believe that it's all rainbows and sunshines. And they tried the legal way, but miserably failed with this. I have like all the documents here trying to take down. They literally asked YouTube to take down the videos, but luckily the truth and the facts have been on my side, and they failed with this attempt. But as I mentioned, since the last video, I had a lot of cabin crew and Vistara staff reaching out to me and making even more shocking claims. And I have a few written down here. And what I found most disturbing was the fact that plenty of cabin crew complained that they were forced to work even though they tested positive for COVID, due to the shortage of crew that the airline was facing at this time, which doesn't only jeopardizes the health of their crew, but also of the passengers. And then there's several staff that informed me that mental health problems are being laughed at the airline and not accepted as a reason to call in sick. In a time where mental health is on the rise and a known issue in our times, this is absolutely shocking as well. Apart from this, I got a lot of leaked documents about frequent pilot errors jeopardizing passenger safety, or emails about revolting maintenance departments. But yeah, there were just a few incidents to name them. And I mean, the only advice I have for you, if you don't want to support such company policies, you should maybe stop flying Vistara. So those are the updates that I wanted to share with you guys. And just recently, I visited Singapore and I met up with a few friends of mine who work for Singapore Airlines, really high executives. And obviously we had a chat about Vistara as well, since Singapore Airlines owns 49% of the airline. And I asked them, aren't you guys aware of all this nonsense happening in the airline? And they said yes. They said, Josh, do you think you're the only one who receives these kind of emails and complaints? We know very much what's happening. And this is why we're working so hard right now to merge Vistara with Air India, because in their opinion, the brand is damaged beyond repair. And now since Tata has taken over Air India, this is the master plan to merge the brand, to discontinue Vistara, and turn Air India into a very profitable airline. And obviously, Singapore Airlines is very much interested in getting their money back that they have invested in Vistara, since the airline hasn't made a single dollar of profit. But that under the umbrella of Air India, which I can see to be very successful since Air India is such a strong brand still, though they've been struggling quite a lot in the past decade, but now with the funding and the know-how, I can see Air India become one of the strongest airlines in the world.
On the other side of the eye, we have Sam Chui, another giant in aviation YouTube, known for his glamorous high-quality reviews that showcase the best in aviation luxury. In Chui's eyes, Vistara was still delivering on its promises of excellence, and he continued to praise the airline's customer experience. His focus has always been on showing viewers the luxurious side of flying, often highlighting the best amenities and onboard experience without delving too much into internal operations or controversies. But to him, Vistara was still a shining star in India aviation. But for Josh Cahill, Vistara's internal issues weren't something to ignore. He took a stand, publicly criticizing the airline and drawing attention to what he saw as a serious ethical lapses. His message was clear. The aviation industry and the passengers who rely on it deserve transparency. Cahill wasn't afraid to break the facade of perfection, urging the industry to confront its flaws. Sam Chui, however, wasn't on the same page. He felt Cahill's approach was sensationalist, claiming that it painted an unfair picture of an airline that was still delivering quality service to its customer. Now, the disagreement between them escalated, becoming a public feud that went beyond simple criticism. Feud even went as far as to call out Cahill, questioning his credibility and accusing him of stirring up unnecessary drama. Cahill, in response, challenged Feud to face him on camera to address these issues publicly and openly. He invited Chui to defend his views, to justify his criticisms, and to support his glowing assessment of Vistara, which I know all viewers would have, probably liked.
So guys, let me share my Vistara story with you, which started, I think, in 2018. It was my first flight on Vistara, I believe it was from Delhi to Mumbai. And I was like, wow, this is a great airline. That is exactly what India needs. A professional, full-serviced carrier that brings pride back to the country, which they used to have in Air India many, many decades ago. So I was very hopeful and I was very eager to follow that project. And I was like, I'm gonna try to keep reviewing them to see how consistent they are and whether they can be a game changer. So guys, but now let me give you all the behind the scenes that you've been waiting for. In 2022, I posted this video, which was exposing all the questionable things Vistara was doing to its crew, including sexual exploitation. I also mentioned in the video that you don't have to wait for long until a Sam Chui PR propaganda whitewashing clip will appear on the internet showing how everything is rainbows and sunshines at Vistara. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. However, Sam was so angry of me calling him out that he went to my video and left a public comment saying that I have asked for financial compensation in exchange to delete the Vistara video off the video. So short, he said, I am blackmailing the airline. So of course, I was pretty shocked by his statement and I asked him, since it was publicly, to provide some evidence of me blackmailing the airline. But this is who Sam Chui is. Instead of using his platform to ask critical questions, to make sure that the crew is treated right, he is more interested in his personal gain and to create a PR propaganda masterpiece. However, after his accusation, I emailed Sam and I said, in order for full transparency, why don't we sit together in front of the camera where you can provide your evidence of me apparently blackmailing the airline. But since he is aware that these are all lies and false accusations against me, he turned down this offer because he is worried about his reputation. But hey Sam, the offer is still on to sit with you in front of the camera and you can finally provide all the evidence to your accusations. I'm sure my audience as well as yours are very interested to see what you have to say.
But it wasn't just about differing opinions on an airline. This clash brought to the surface a much deeper question. What is the role of aviation influencers in the modern world? Do they focus on the experience from a customer's point of view, or do they also carry a responsibility to scrutinize the ethical and operational standards of airlines? So for Cahill, the answer was clear. His stance is that aviation content creators are in some ways watchdogs for the industry. In his view, they have a duty to shine a light on issues that could impact passenger safety, comfort, or trust, for which I stand anyway. And his critique of Vistara wasn't just about favoritism. It was about holding airlines accountable and giving his audience the whole truth, unfiltered. Now, to him, glossing over issues was akin to ignoring potential red flags, which goes against everything he believes in. Cahill, on the other hand, argued that the passenger experience is what matters most. For him, aviation content is about celebrating the joy of flying, about showcasing the comforts and the little luxuries that make travel an unforgettable experience. He felt that Cahill's criticisms were out of proportion, taking away from the positive impact that airlines like Vistara have on passengers. Now, as viewer and aviation enthusiast, we are left with an interesting dilemma. On one side, we have the polished luxury, the glossy finish that makes us dream of boarding a flight and experiencing the best that aviation has to offer. On the other hand, we have the raw truth, the unvarnished looks at what might be happening behind the scenes, which could directly impact us as travelers. So, in the case of Vistara, Cahill's persistence in exposing alleged internal issues has led many to question the airline's practices. In doing so, he has made a significant impact, calling on airlines everywhere to maintain higher standards and pushing for a culture of transparency and accountability. For him, it's not just about passenger experience, it's about building a safer, more honest aviation industry for everyone. And maybe, just maybe, his willingness to challenge even the biggest names in the industry is exactly what's needed to bring about that change. So here's the big question for all of you watching. Who do you side with? Do you believe that influencers like Josh Cahill are right to expose internal issues, even if it stirs controversy? Or do you think that focusing on the positive aspects of aviation, as Sam Chui does, is a better approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. But remember, this isn't just about who is right and who is wrong. It's about the kind of aviation world we want to build together. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so we can continue bringing you the real stories of aviation. Thanks for watching Flight Realities. I am Joseph Kabulu, and until next time, keep flying safe and stay curious about what lies beyond the clouds. Goodbye.